Oh Dae-su was not a remarkable man. A mid-level businessman in Seoul, he was ordinary, flawed, and somewhat careless with his life. One rainy evening, after drinking too much, he was arrested for causing a scene at a police station. His friend bailed him out, and as he stumbled into the night, muttering promises to return home to his daughter with a birthday gift, the world shifted in an instant. A shadow fell across his path, a cloth smothered his face, and he was gone. When he woke up, he found himself inside a dimly lit, windowless room. The walls were padded like a cheap motel, the air stale, a bed, a bathroom, a television, and nothing else. That room became his entire existence. At first he screamed, begged, pleaded for answers, but no one responded. Only food trays slid under the door. The TV became his only window into the outside world. Days blurred into weeks, then years. Through the TV he learned that his wife had been murdered, and that he was framed as the killer. The world believed he had vanished, guilty and disgraced. His young daughter was adopted, her face shone briefly on the news before fading from his reach forever. That knowledge hollowed him out, but rage filled the emptiness. He trained relentlessly. Push-ups, shadow boxing, sit-ups. He punched the wall until his knuckles hardened into stone, imagining the faceless man who had stolen his life. Each scar became a reminder of his vow. I will escape. I will find them. I will kill them. Every so often, gas would seep into the room, rendering him unconscious. When he awoke, he found his hair trimmed, his nails cut, and the room clean. His captors were invisible but omnipresent. They wanted him alive, but broken. 15 years passed like a nightmare with no waking. Then, one day, without warning, he was released. Dressed in a suit, carrying money and a cell phone, Dae-su stood on a rooftop. The city skyline stretched before him. Freedom should have felt like salvation. Instead, it was another riddle. The world had moved on without him. His youth was gone, his family destroyed. He was free, but freedom meant nothing without vengeance. With fire in his eyes, he whispered into the night, "Whoever you are, I will find you." Dae-su stumbled into the streets of Seoul, disoriented by the rush of cars, the neon lights, the smell of life he hadn't touched in 15 years. He wandered until hunger clawed at his stomach. His first meal in freedom was sushi, served by a young chef named Midu. She was kind, curious, and strangely drawn to him. Despite his ragged appearance, she offered him compassion, something he hadn't felt in years. Their meeting felt destined, almost unnatural, yet Dae-su accepted it. She gave him shelter, listened to fragments of his story, and became his first ally. But vengeance could not wait. He remembered the dumplings fed to him every day in captivity. The taste was etched into his memory. Dae-su roamed every Chinese restaurant in the city, tasting dumpling after dumpling until he found the exact flavor. The trail led him to a building where his captors once operated. The search turned violent. Thugs swarmed him, a dozen at once, armed with pipes and bats. Dae-su, wielding only a hammer, fought like a man possessed. In a narrow hallway, he battled relentlessly, absorbing blows, returning them with fury. Each strike was not only survival, but release. 15 years of rage unleashed on anyone in his way. Bloodied, exhausted, but unbroken, he staggered out victorious. Finally, his true tormentor revealed himself. Woo Jin, a wealthy, impeccably dressed man with the calm smile of a predator. He greeted Dae-su not with hostility, but with eerie politeness. "You want to know why I imprisoned you?" Woo Jin said, his voice measured. "I'll give you 5 days. Find the reason, and maybe I'll let you live. Fail, and you'll die with the question unanswered." The cruel game was set. Woo Jin was no ordinary enemy. He was a puppet master pulling strings. Dae-su didn't yet see. With Midu beside him, torn between trust and suspicion, Dae-su embarked on a labyrinthine search for truth. Each step forward felt like a trap. As Dae-su dug deeper, Fragments of memory surfaced. The face of a teenage boy, Woo Jin. A school rooftop. A secret whispered long ago. Slowly, the pieces began to align. Years earlier, as a student, Dae-su had seen something he was never meant to see. Woo Jin in a forbidden relationship with his own sister. In shock, young Dae-su gossiped about it, telling a classmate what he had witnessed. The rumor spread like wildfire, consuming Woo Jin's sister's reputation. Overwhelmed by shame, she ultimately took her own life. That was the moment Woo Jin's hatred was born. For years he nurtured it, shaping it into an intricate revenge. Imprisonment was never the end. It was only the beginning. He wanted Dae-su not just to suffer but to unravel, to destroy himself with the weight of truth. And then came the most devastating revelation. Woo Jin unveiled the final twist. Mi-do, the woman Dae-su had come to love, the one person who made him feel human again, was his own daughter. Their entire relationship, their intimacy had been orchestrated by Woo Jin's manipulations, including hypnosis. Dae-su's world collapsed. He vomited, screamed, clawed at himself, begging for it not to be true. But Woo Jin only smiled, savoring the torment. "You thought you were seeking vengeance," he whispered, "but you are only following the path I paved, broken beyond repair." Dae-su begged Woo Jin not to tell Mi-do the truth. He prostrated himself, clawed at the ground, barked like a dog, and pleaded with humiliation. To seal his silence, he grabbed scissors and cut out his own tongue, blood pouring from his mouth as Woo Jin watched with detached satisfaction. Revenge had been achieved not by killing Dae-su but by reducing him to a hollow shell of a man. Later, Woo Jin returned to his penthouse. Alone, he replayed a recording of his sister's death, her voice echoing through the room. With a serene smile, he pressed a gun to his head and pulled the trigger. For him, revenge was complete, and his life had no further purpose. Meanwhile, Dae-su sought out a hypnotist, desperate to erase the truth from his mind. If he could forget, perhaps he could still live. Perhaps he could still love Mi-do without the unbearable knowledge. In the haunting final scene, he reunited with her in the snow. She embraced him warmly, whispering words of comfort. But Dae-su's face twisted between agony and relief. Had the hypnosis worked, or was he forever cursed to remember? The film left the question unresolved, leaving the audience haunted by the same torment that consumed him. It was not just a story of vengeance, but of memory, guilt, and the horrifying cost of truth.